So thank you very much for joining this morning. Hope you have a wonderful song. We will continue reading the Krishna book, second volume, The Deliverance of Sisupa. Let me see where we left today. So Sahadev is asking the assembly to worship Krishna because they were looking for the person who should be the worship first in the sacrificial arena. And Sahadev, that is really a wonderful qualities that his father was inimical to Krishna, but he is praising Krishna like anything. That's wonderful. I don't know. I would like to know more about this Sahadev. Who is, who was he in the previous life that give him this kind of qualities? That's so only the Sisupal was the only one who didn't stood up to give the respect to Krishna. So Krishna can do anything he likes with any part of his body. We can execute a particular actions with the help of a particular part of our body. But Krishna can do anything and everything with any part of his body. And because his transcendental body is full of knowledge and bliss and eternity, he doesn't go the six kind of material changes: birth, existence, growth, fruitive action, dwindling, and vanishing one day. Unforced by any external energy, he is the supreme cause of creation, maintenance, and dissolutions of everything that be. By the grace of Krishna only, everyone is engaged in the practice of religiousness and the development of economic conditions, the satisfaction of the senses, and ultimately the achievement of liberation from the material bondage. These four principles of progressive life can be executed by the mercy of Krishna only. He should therefore be offered the first worship of this great sacrifice, and no one should disagree. As by watering the root, the watering of the branches, twigs, leaves, and flowers is automatically accomplished, or as by supplying food to the stomach, the nutrition and metabolism of all parts of the body are automatically established. So by offering the first worship to Krishna, everyone present in this meeting, including the great demigods, will be satisfied. If anyone is charitably disposed, it will be very good for him to give in charity only to Krishna, who is the super soul of everyone, regardless of his particular body or individual personality. Krishna is present as the super soul in every living being. And if we can satisfy him, then automatically every living being becomes satisfied. This is the formula. Haribo. So now I think we will continue. Sahadev was fortunate to know the glories of Krishna. Definitely he was a fortunate who I really wants to know who he is reality. And after describing them in brief, he stopped speaking. And after this speech was delivered, all the members present in that great sacrificial assembly applauded him and confirming his word continuously by saying, everything that you have said is completely perfect. Everything that you have said is completely perfect. King Yudhishthira, After hearing the confirmation of all present, especially of the Brahmanas and the learned sages, who worship Lord Sri Krishna according to the regulative principle of Vedic injunctions. First of all, King Yudhishthir, along with his brothers, wives, children, and other relative and minister, washed the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and sprinkled the water on their heads. After this, Lord Krishna was offered various kind of silken garments of yellow color, because he likes the yellow color. And heaps of jewelry and ornaments were presented before him for his use. King Yudhishthir felt such ecstasy by honoring Krishna. That's what we feel, right, when we glorified our spiritual master on his appearance day, who was his only lovable object, that tears glide down from his eyes. And although he wanted to, he could not see Lord Krishna very well. Lord Krishna was thus worshipped by King Yudhishthir. And at that time, all the members present in that assembly stood up with folded hands and began to chant Jai Jai Namaha Namaha. When all joined together to offer their respectful obeisances to Krishna, there were showers of flowers from the sky. That's what demigods do all the time. I think we have already read this, but it's good to read again, because I forgot to make a mark or something. In that meeting, King Sisupal was also present. And he was an avowed enemy of Krishna for many reasons, especially because of Krishna's having stolen Rukmini from the marriage ceremony. Therefore, he could not tolerate such honor to Krishna and glorification of all his qualities. Instead of being happy to hear the glories of the Lord, he became extremely angry. When everyone offered respect to Krishna by standing up, Sisupal, only the one, remained in his seat. But when he became angry at Krishna's being honored, Sisupal stood up suddenly and, raising his hand, began to speak very strongly and fearlessly against Lord Krishna. He spoke in such a way that Lord Krishna could hear him very distinctly. So what did he say? Ladies and gentlemen, I can appreciate now the statement of the Vedas that after all, time is the predominating factor. Time runs everything in this material world, but it has no effect in spiritual world. In spite of all endeavor to the contrary, the time element executes its own plan without oppositions. For example, one may try his best to live, but when the time for death comes, no one can check it. I see here that although there are many stalwart personalities present in this assembly, the influence of time is so strong that they have been misled by the statement of a boy who has foolishly spoken about Krishna. Very old. There are many learned sages and elderly persons present, but still they have accepted the statement of the foolish boy. This means that by the influence of time, even the intelligence of such honored persons as are present in this meeting can be misdirected. I fully agree with the respectable person present here that they are competent enough to select the personality who can be first worshipped. But I cannot agree with the statement of the boy like Sahadev, who has spoken so highly about Krishna and has recommended that Krishna is fit to accept the first worship in the sacrifice. I can see that in this meeting there are many personalities who have undergone great austerities who are highly learned and who have performed many penances. By their knowledge and directions, they can deliver many persons who are suffering from the pangs of material existence. There are great rishis here whose knowledge has no bounds, as well as many self-realized persons and brahmanas also. And therefore, I think, this is Sisupal, that any one of them could have been selected for the first worship because they are worshipable even by the great demigods, kings, and emperors. I cannot understand how you could have selected this cowherd boy, Krishna, and have left aside all these other great personalities. I think Krishna to be no better than a crow. How can he be fit to accept the first worship in this great sacrifice? This is demoniac mentality, how we see. They cannot take the praise of a good person, We also see that if we have any tinge of envy in our heart, particularly that we don't have a good relationship, working relationship, and if somebody glorifies that person, our heart gets burned so heavily, we can't take it. We have been misled. But what the Raghunath Das Goswami in the Manasiksa says, everybody we should respect and have a loving relationship. Then and then our mind will remain under control. So this demoniac mentality is totally opposite, we can see it. And Sisupal is exhibiting us. So we cannot even ascertain as yet to which caste this Krishna belongs, or what his actual occupational duty is. Actually, Krishna does not belong to any caste, nor does he have to perform any occupational duty. It is stated in the Vedas, the Supreme Lord has nothing to do as his prescribed duty. Whatever has to be done on his behalf is executed by his different energies. He didn't stop there. Sisupal continued. Krishna does not belong to high family. Haribol. He is so independent that no one can know his principle of religion's life. It appeared that he is outside the jurisdictions of all religious principles. He always acts independently, not caring for the Vedic injunctions and regulative principles. Therefore, he is devoid of all good qualities. So Sisupal here indirectly praised Krishna by saying that he is not within the jurisdictions of Vedic injunctions. This is true because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That he has no qualities means that Krishna has no material qualities, nirguna, but the Mayavadis interpret differently to satisfy their own whatever it is, Haribol. And because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he acts independently, not caring for conventions or social or religious principles. He don't want to stop. He continued. Under these circumstances, how can he be fit to accept the first worship in this sacrifice? Krishna is so foolish that he has left Mathura, which is inhabited by highly elevated person, following the Vedic culture, and he has also taken shelter in the ocean, where there is no even talk of the Vedas. Instead of living openly, he has constructed a fort within the water and is living in an atmosphere where there is no discussion of Vedic knowledge. And whenever he comes out of the fort, He simply harasses the citizen like a dacoit, thief, or rogues. Haribol. So Sisupal went crazy because of Krishna being elected the supreme first worship person in that meeting. And he spoke so irresponsibly that it appeared that he had lost all his good fortune. But Maya Devi is so strong. When we even give up our devotional practice, for whatever reason our ego doesn't get satisfied, we give up on the Guru, we give up on the movement, and then the Maya Devi will tell us, man, I did the great thing. They were misleading the people, they were doing this, they were doing this, and find thousands of good reasons to satisfy his desire. So we have to be extremely careful when we think like that. Maya Devi is so strong. Being overcast with misfortune, Sisupal continued to insult Krishna further, and Lord Krishna patiently heard him. He is completely satisfied. Nobody can disturb him. Without any protest, he listened. Just as a lion does not care when a flock of jackals howl, Lord Krishna remained silent and unprovoked. Krishna did not reply to even a single accusation made by Sisupal. It says in our legal term also, somehow or other, with the ISKCON, I have to get engaged in those kind of a thing also. So I learned one thing, they never respond. Because you respond one thing, that means that you agree with all other things that they are blaming you. And this is Krishna is showing us. He's so kind actually. He teaches everything, even how to live peacefully in the material world. He's so expert. But all the members present in the meeting, except a few who agreed with Sisupal, became very agitated. Because it is the duty of any respectable person not to tolerate blasphemy against God or his devotee. Some of them who thought that they could not properly take action against Sisupal left the assembly in protest. That's what it says. That either you defeat that person by the argument, by the shastric injunctions. And if you cannot, leave that place. Covering their ear with their hands in order not to hear any further accusations. Because anything we hear the blasphemy, man, it has the effect, believe me. It may not come, but when something happens that you feel that this is right, and somebody tell about that person, you will say, yes, I agree with you. That person is like that because it happened with me also. So all this thing is waiting for the time factor. We should not be proud, oh, I can sustain my faith in my Guru and in that disciplic succession. Unless we take a really humble position, it's very difficult. We have some subtle desire that has not yet manifested in our heart. So you can sustain. But time comes that those unsatisfied, some of the desire will manifest. And at that time, you will become illusion. So what they did is the right thing, that they left the meeting condemning the action of Sisupal. It is the Vedic injunctions that whenever there is a blasphemy of the Supreme Personality Godhead, one must immediately leave. Like atheists, don't waste the time to convince them about the supremacy of the Lord. You will hear nothing but the blasphemy. We have to be so expert. he becomes bereft of his past activity and is degraded to the lower condition of life. All the king present belonging to the Kuru dynasty, Matsya dynasty, Kekaya dynasty, and Srinjaya dynasty become very angry and immediately took up their swords and shields to kill Sisupal. That's the perfect way to act. Sisupal was so foolish that he did not become even slightly agitated. This is demoniac mentality, you see. They cannot get that point across. Although all the king present were ready to kill him, he did not care to think of the pros and cons of his foolish talking. And when he saw that all the kings were ready to kill him, instead of stopping, he stood to fight with them and took up his sword and shield. You know, they feel that they are the kings. When Lord Krishna saw that they were going to be engaged in fighting in the arena of the auspicious Rasuya sacrifice, he personally pacified them. Out of his causeless mercy, he himself decided to kill Sisupal. When Sisupal was abusing the kings who were about to attack him, Lord Krishna took up his desk, which was as sharp as the blade of a razor, and immediately separated the head of Sisupal from his body. Krishna, take care of his devotees. When Sisupal was killed, a great roar and howl went up from the crowd of that assembly. Taking advantage of that disturbance, the few kings who were supporters of Sisupal quickly left the assembly out of fear of their lives. But despite all this, the fortunate Sisupal spirit soul immediately merged into the body of Lord Krishna in the presence of all the members, exactly as a burning meteor falls to the surface of the globe. You know, the Vrindavan Prabhu was visiting from Pune or from Pandharpur, where Saint Tukaram appeared in Maharashtra, and I think he took the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prabhu has really thoroughly gathered those facts about Saint Tukaram, and he produced the book. So yesterday when the Harivansh Prabhu wants to spend some time with me, with Anandeswar Prabhu, they came to my home. We spent a couple of hours. It's so wonderful to associate with the devotees, advanced devotees, you know. We get immense benefit. And we rarely see each other association, so much so that it was very difficult even to leave that association after a couple of hours. And in that, Anandeswar Prabhu said that Prabhuji has sent you that book which he promised me when we met. I will have to read that because it says that Saint Tukaram, he was so much dedicated that he didn't have to change his body. This is the only personality. I think there was a one that, what is the name of that? Saint, last name was Saint, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, his dog was delivered in that body. So similarly, it says that Tukaram, the airplane came from the spiritual world and he went into the same body.
Shivananda Sen Prabhu?
Huh? Shivananda Sena, yes. Thank you. So I will have to read that book because it's wonderful. You know, like in Gujarat also, contemporary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Narsimha Mehta also, great personality that they exhibited so much. They completely depended on Krishna, and Krishna took care of that thing, Narsimha Mehta's wife, that the Kumarbai, his daughter, was gonna get married at that age, and his wife was so much concerned. He told Narsimha Mehta, give up your bhajan and do something. We have to get our daughter married. It will take some money to do this festival and everything. And Narsimha Mehta just keep on doing his bhajan, worshipping Krishna non-stop. And what happened, we see that the story in his life. Krishna arranged everything jubilantly. Then Kuvarbai had that great festival of her marriage. No shortage of anything. So those are a lot of the example in front of us. But we don't have the faith. Like again, the Kadamba Kanand Swami Maharaj example come. We are hanging, holding something. How long can we hang on something? We will get tired one day and we drop. So Krishna said, devotee, don't worry, I'm gonna hold you, just release your hand. And we who are influenced by the external energy, we said, oh, I don't believe you, Krishna. Touch my body. Then I will feel that you are there to catch me. But Baba, you are gonna fall down anyway. How long? Like Prabhupada gave a wonderful example that you hold the tail of a dog and you feel the dog will cross over this ocean. And this is what our ignorance is. We think that we are going to cross over this nations of material existence with our own strength. It's never be possible unless some intervention come from the higher authority and bless us. Otherwise, what is the hope we have? Okay, let's continue reading. Despite all this, the fortunate Sisupal spirit soul immediately merged into the body of Lord Krishna in the presence of all the members, exactly as a burning meteor falls to the surface of the globe. Sisupal souls merging into the transcendental body of Krishna remind us of the story of Jai and Vijay, who fell to the material world from the Vaikuntha planet upon being cursed by the four Kumaras. For their return to the Vaikuntha world, it was arranged that both Jai and Vijay, for 3 consecutive births, would act as deadly enemy of the Lord. And at the end of these lives, they would again return to the Vaikuntha world and serve the Lord as his associate. And they accepted. Oh, Hari Bol, 707. Thank you very much. Raghav Chaitanya Prabhu is always my savior. He is my guru. Otherwise, I may have missed today is also His Holiness Radharaman Swami Maharaj will be giving a Bhagavatam class.
So Maharaj is Houston, Prabhu. Maharaj is Houston now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we got his association here.